What's going on, football fans? Welcome back to another episode of Breaking the Birds. 7-0, keeping it on a roll. Dominated the Steelers. So, a lot to get into in a short week. Let's get to Miles Sanders just to check out what he did. Because he was, despite not being the most utilized player in this game, they won in so many different ways. He contributed. Let's just say that. Let's get right to it. Really nice job here in pass protection. Steelers sending a six-man pressure here, fourth the line, and 51 coming up the line right there. So you got 41 as the free delayed blitzer here. Miles does a good job first recognizing how is everything going here. Do we have everything accounted for? And then he meets 41 right there in good position. Takes him on, hit square, looks right at him. No cutting or anything like that. Meets him square up in the A-gap. Man on man. Stalls him. Another really good job in pass protection from Miles. We got the cornerback blitz this time. He's shooting right up here at the B gap. Miles reads it immediately. Stands up tall in there. Just his presence really makes the DB stall a little bit and not just shoot in there. He doesn't want the contact. It's a good job by Miles getting in the gap immediately, staying in balance, good contact. Again, another really good pass protection rep here for Miles. Setting extra pressure again here. Five-man pressure, again the DB, coming up the B gap. Miles reads it immediately, stands up tall in there, good contact, gives Jalen Hurts way enough time to get rid of the ball, and it's perfectly fine that when he takes on the blitz engage here, that he goes a little bit more inside. He wants to give up the outside more than the inside here. So when 51 is coming on the blitz, he has to go around them instead of just straight for Hurts, and it gives Hurts even more time. And again, in pass protection, Miles Sanders here off the play action. Reads the blitz coming up there in the A-gap. Again, this time on a linebacker. Really good engage. Really good contact. Stalls every bit of that pass rush. Doesn't shy away. Doesn't duck his head. Doesn't go crown first. Doesn't cut. He just meets him straight up, man on man, engage. So you're in full control, because if you have your feet planted and you get your hands placed on the blitzer, that's when you're in the best control in pass protection. And yet again, Miles Sanders in pass protection, phenomenal job here. Pre-snap reading. All right, we got some extra pressure over here. We got some extra guys. It's 5-on-4. Stuffs that hole right in between there in the A gap to find out the blitzer. Doesn't wait for it. He knows it's coming. He reads it, and he trusts his read. That was tough. And attacks the gap instead of waiting for it to come to him. And so it's a perfect pocket there for Jalen Hurts. Toss play to the outside here, and I can understand the idea from Miles Sanders here of continuously going to the outside, because that's where he has his elite blockers. Really good job here by Mailata. Boom. Of smothering 51 as he's coming to the outside here. So you got the double block there with the two wide receivers. You have Dallas Goedert going outside against this guy right here. You do have a cutback lane right here, right on the ass side of Zach Pascal as your blocker. And then you have a highway up the field. But I can understand the idea of following your blocks there, and you can't really fault the play too much. But right there, where you have a massive gap to the outside, don't tell me he can't cut up field here and create a ton more than this. All right, first down. Next play, we have a trap run. So basically, Jason Kelce is going to be looping on the backside here, pulling on the backside of Leighton Dickerson, who's going to be down blocking on 97. So he'll be the lead blocker out there, and Devin Bush is really set up nicely. Miles hits the hole immediately. Unfortunately, 92 of Mailata, the defensive end out here, he disengages on Mailata and makes the tackle. Needs to hold on a little bit better here. Mailata does, because Miles does what he has to. He follows the block well from Jason Kelce, and then he has the shield block out there as well from the receiver. So tries a little bit too much here. Zone left. Initially, really good decision. Isaac Seumalo gets beat a little bit there to the outside of the play side. And so, good idea for Miles to cut it upfield here. That's fine, because you don't want to keep going out here. It'll just get messed up by the defensive tackle who's in full control to that side. So just here, cut, and then go straight. Just go downhill. You have your one cut opportunity, so just go. And the play wouldn't have been a massive gain, because you got an extra guy out there with Lane Johnson. But you'd still get more than this. This is basically a no gain. Instead of here, just plow forward, initiate contact with the outside shoulder on the outside defender, and then plow forward for as much as possible. This is what I'm talking about. Decisive run. Split zone here for the Eagles. And Jack Stoll puts a massive block here on the, not the defensive end, but the blitzing defensive back out there. Miles Sanders sees that. He sees Lane Johnson going outside. One cut, boom, just takes off. Perfect. Now, zone right. And once again, really good read here from Miles Sanders. Sees the defensive end going inside. All right, I'm going to take one step outside here, jump cut, and then decides just to go. Really good run. Zone left, and it's kind of the edge right here of the hesitation. I get why he has a little bit of hesitation to read everything, to see where 51 is going, and then can decide for himself that he wants to hit that A-gap, but also you would like him to hit him a little bit harder here because you have a highway right up there in the middle with the double team on the 2 defensive tackles. And if you trust Jason Kelce and Leighton Dickerson, you know one of them is going to be releasing up to the linebacker here. So if we just right here sees this and says, go, shoot, this defensive end on Dallas Goedert has no chance of making this tackle because he actually does that here. He is the one who stalls this play. Otherwise, this, I don't want to say home run, but at least it would have been a much bigger gain here. Not that, just cut that dance move. You don't have to stutter and to halt yourself for a half a second when that is the difference between clearing the gap untouched and getting tackled as he's running through it. Like the read here. We got zone right. Actually, it's read zone. This guy's going to be blitzing. And that's kind of key because this defensive end is going to be going inside here on Jack Stoll. So he would have been in a good position if Jalen Hurts was to keep it. He's also in a pretty good position here while Miles Sanders gets the ball. So why is it a good read? It's because when he reads the defensive end going inside, he has a much better job of gaining as much yards as possible if he goes to the outside here. See, this is not a great option. This would have been a really good gap, but as he's going there, he sees the defensive end crashing inside. So he takes one step out, cuts it there, spins rather, and plows forward for some pretty good yards there instead of dancing around too much. We talked about this in one of the other reps. So you can argue, is the spin really necessary? Maybe not. Could have probably been a jump cut and then plow through it instead and get through the DB. But I mean, it's okay. You're in touchdown. We have outside power, double pull. Going to have the guard and the wing to that side pull over here. Everybody else going to be down blocking. Really good job here by Mailata and Goedert of removing the defensive end. Good outside block there from Isaac Seumalo. Then you have Jack Stoll as the lead blocker. He gets enough of the linebacker to spring Miles free, who follows his blockers really well here. No hesitation, no dancing. Sees that block, and they just go. And touchdown. How about that pass protection from Miles Sanders? That was so good to see. We've seen a couple of weeks now where there's been some missed blocks there in pass protection from the running backs, and Miles Sanders really led by example in this game of how to take care of that. Also good as runners, still some things to clean up, dancing in the backfield, some things to point out. But overall, really, really good game from him. Overall, solid performance in both pass protection phase, rushing phase. Got to keep that up.